Welcome back to Autistically Accurate and My Pensieve. I bet you're gonna like it. My Pensieve Episode 16. The Hubris of Governance, an examination of our modern failures. In today's world, the principle of democracy rests on the notion that all adult citizens, by virtue of their age and legal status, are eligible to participate in elections. Voting is seen as the cornerstone of a free society, where the people decide the fate of the governance and the shape of their future. However, while the eligibility to vote is broad, the qualifications for making informed and effective decisions are not always present. This subtle distinction, between being eligible to vote and being qualified to vote, is at the heart of a critique on the shortcomings of modern governance. It is not enough to simply include everyone in the democratic process. There must also be a concerted effort to ensure that the electorate is informed, mindful, and equipped to make decisions that are practical, sustainable, and beneficial for the collective good. In our current system, there is an implicit expectation that all citizens will vote on every issue, regardless of their knowledge or understanding of the topic at hand. This is a dangerous assumption, as it invites a host of problems, including the exploitation of tribal instincts and the sway of emotions over reason. People may vote not based on informed opinions, but on ideological loyalties, moods, or personal interests. The rise of populist movements and political factions that prioritize short-term gains or emotional satisfaction over long-term stability is evidence of this phenomenon. The inclusion of unqualified votes, those cast without proper knowledge or consideration, leads to decisions that are often short-sighted and counterproductive, further entrenching societal divisions and conflicts. The political party system, which many believe to be a bastion of democratic choice, can often resemble business unions more than institutions of public service. Parties may represent a range of interests, but agreement within a group is not proof of correctness or utility. In fact, such agreements are frequently based on opinion rather than objective knowledge, and opinions are inherently unstable, fickle, and often incomplete. This creates a system where voters are asked to make decisions on matters far beyond their understanding, while political parties exploit this vulnerability to secure power and push their agendas. The result is a system in which governments are not guided by the informed will of the people, but rather by a delicate dance of ideological manipulation and mass opinion, both of which are easily swayed. This status quo of nonchalance and uncritical participation can be aptly summarized as, they don't know what they do. In the rush to fulfill the democratic ideal of universal participation, society has overlooked the importance of fostering an informed electorate. Instead, it has created a system where voters are often ill-equipped to understand the complexity of the issues they are voting on, let alone the long-term consequences of the decisions. The result is a convoluted, needlessly complicated political landscape, where problems are not solved but compounded by the very mechanisms designed to address them. To break free from this cycle, we must first pause and reflect on how we arrived at this point. One way to engage the public in this necessary introspection is through the creation of a documentary film or podcast series that critically examines the history and evolution of governance, showing how these systems have failed us and why. Such a project could use mockery and satire to illustrate the absurdity of the current situation, drawing attention to the fact that if the world's populace were truly concerned with governing themselves properly, they would approach it with the meticulousness and mindfulness necessary for success. The concept of this critique can be deepened by introducing a theological metaphor. Imagine a scenario in which God, observing humanity's arrogance, offers a covenant. He will step back and allow humans to govern themselves without divine intervention. The hypothetical boast here is that humanity claims it does not need God's guidance to govern effectively. In this scenario, God watches as humanity's governance unravels, knowing that the hubris behind this claim will inevitably lead to failure. If we were truly serious about this cosmic wager, we would govern with the same care, wisdom, and foresight that we imagine a deity would employ. Yet, as it stands, humanity's governance is riddled with flaws, contradictions, and avoidable errors. In this metaphorical framework, humanity's failure is not just political, it is moral and spiritual. The act of governing oneself is not merely a matter of practical decision-making but a test of humility, responsibility, and wisdom. By claiming independence from divine governance, humanity has undertaken a monumental task, one that requires far more introspection and self-awareness than is currently being applied. Our current systems of governance, with their emphasis on populist appeal and ideological loyalty, fail to rise to this challenge. We have fallen short of the boast that we do not need divine governance, and the consequences of this failure are all around us. This failure is most evident in the way that political systems encourage shallow participation. Rather than fostering an inquisitive and educated electorate, they rely on emotional manipulation and tribal affiliations to secure votes. If we are to truly succeed in governing ourselves, we must shift from this reactive, short-term thinking to a more deliberate and informed approach. This requires not only changes in how we educate citizens but also a re-evaluation of the systems themselves, systems that currently prioritize expedience over thoughtfulness. Thank you for watching this presentation. I'm confident I will compose and upload more regularly now that I have an AI reciting my script of saved philosophical commentary posts for your edutainment. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos and channel to everyone you believe will appreciate such serendipitously informative content.